The room was enveloped in a cozy, muted glow from the evening lamp, casting gentle shadows that danced on the walls as Alex, a mid-30s man with a thoughtful demeanor, relaxed on the couch, deeply engrossed in a book. The tranquility of the evening, marked by the soft rustling of pages and the quiet hum of the city outside, was suddenly pierced by the sharp, persistent ring of the phone. Alex's peaceful solitude was abruptly interrupted as he looked up, momentarily disoriented, and saw Claire's name flashing on the screen. His brow furrowed in curiosity and a hint of concern as he reached for the receiver. The weight of the moment shifted immediately when Claire's voice came through, laced with an unmistakable note of panic. "Alex, I'm in trouble. My purse was stolen. My wallet, my credit cards, everything. I don't know what to do. I'm really scared." Her words spilled out in a frantic rush, each syllable heavy with distress. Alex's heart skipped a beat as he heard the tremor in her voice, the kind that hinted at deeper fears and perhaps a more troubling reality than a simple theft. As Claire continued to recount the chaotic events of her day, the crowded market, the jostling crowd, the sudden realization of her missing belongings, Alex's mind raced. What started as a straightforward call for help began to stir a murky sense of doubt in him. The urgency in Claire's tone, combined with the unusual timing of the call, suggested there might be more lurking beneath the surface. The initial concern of a stolen purse quickly morphed into a gnawing uncertainty, casting a shadow over what should have been a routine distress call. As Claire's voice trembled on the other end of the line, Alex felt a growing unease settle in his chest. He could almost visualize her, perhaps standing in a crowded, disheveled place, grappling with the chaos of her lost belongings. The background noise on the call was faint but detectable, a distant murmur of voices and the occasional clatter that hinted at a bustling environment. Alex took a deep breath, trying to steady his own racing thoughts. "Claire, calm down. Can you tell me exactly what happened? Where are you right now?" he asked, his voice trying to be as soothing and steady as possible, though the worry was evident. Claire's response came in fragmented bursts, interspersed with deep breaths and stifled sobs. "I was at the market, just picking up a few things for dinner. I was in the checkout line and then I felt a shove, and when I turned around, my purse was gone. I think someone might have picked it. I don't even know if I should call the police or what." Her voice wavered, revealing the depth of her distress and confusion. Alex could sense that Claire's panic was genuine, but the rapid escalation from a lost purse to complete helplessness began to raise questions in his mind. He knew Claire well enough to recognize that she was prone to dramatizing situations, yet something about the urgency in her voice felt unusually intense. "All right, listen carefully," Alex said, his mind working quickly to piece together the situation. "I'm going to call the bank and put a hold on your credit cards. Meanwhile, stay where you are. Try to remember if you noticed anything unusual or if anyone seemed suspicious around you. It's important we get as much information as possible." Claire's hurried agreement came with a hint of relief, and Alex could hear her trying to compose herself. He hung up the phone, feeling the weight of the conversation settle heavily on his shoulders. The suddenness and intensity of Claire's call had ignited a flicker of doubt that he couldn't ignore. As he picked up his phone to call the bank, he replayed the details of the conversation in his mind, searching for inconsistencies or signs of deceit. While waiting for the bank representative, Alex's thoughts drifted back to Claire's recent behavior. There had been a few instances lately where her actions seemed out of character. Her frequent unexplained absences, the secrecy surrounding her phone, and a nagging sense that something was amiss. As the minutes ticked by, Alex's unease grew, mingling with a growing suspicion that there might be more to this situation than a simple theft. The bank call was straightforward. Alex swiftly arranged to freeze the accounts and protect Claire's financial assets. As he hung up, his thoughts turned back to Claire's earlier panic. He couldn't shake the feeling that the timing of the call, the nature of the theft, and the level of her distress were all too coincidental. He needed to know more, to dig deeper into Claire's recent activities and uncover any hidden truths. With a sense of resolve settling over him, Alex decided to start his investigation. He knew that the road ahead would be fraught with challenges and emotional turbulence, but the need to uncover the truth was undeniable. The phone call had been the catalyst for a journey that would force him to confront uncomfortable realities and question the foundation of his trust in Claire. As he prepared to delve deeper into the mystery, he braced himself for the revelations that lay ahead, knowing that each step would bring him closer to an unsettling truth. Int Alex's study. Later that evening, Alex sat at his desk, the soft hum of his computer providing a backdrop to the tense atmosphere. The room was cluttered with stacks of paperwork, books, and a few scattered photographs, including some of him and Claire from happier times. The glow of the computer screen illuminated his face as he typed, his fingers moving quickly over the keyboard as he began searching for more information. He started by checking recent transactions on Claire's credit card accounts. The data was relatively straightforward, showing ordinary purchases, groceries, dining out, and occasional online shopping. However, a particular transaction from just a few days ago caught his eye: a significant withdrawal from an upscale jewelry store. The amount was large enough to be concerning, especially in the context of Claire's reported theft. Alex's curiosity was piqued. He clicked through to the store's website, looking for any recent purchases that matched the transaction amount. To his surprise, he found a transaction confirmation for an expensive piece of jewelry: a diamond necklace. The details of the purchase were registered under Claire's name, but the item had been marked as a special order with a private consultation. Alex noted the date and time, realizing this was just days before Claire's reported purse theft. His thoughts churned as he considered the implications. The timing of the jewelry purchase and the reported theft seemed oddly coincidental. Alex felt a growing sense of urgency. He needed to investigate further. He picked up his phone and dialed the jewelry store, hoping to obtain more details about the purchase and the person who made it. Int. Jewelry store. Day. The following morning, Alex entered the opulent jewelry store, his demeanor a blend of determination and nervousness. The store was immaculate, with polished glass displays showcasing an array of exquisite pieces. A sales associate, impeccably dressed, greeted him with a warm smile. Sales associate. Good morning. How can I assist you today? Alex. I'm here to inquire about a recent purchase made by Claire Harrison. I understand she made a special order for a piece of jewelry, a diamond necklace to be specific. The sales associate's smile faltered slightly, and she glanced at the computer screen behind the counter. Sales associate. Yes, I see the transaction in our system. Is there something specific you need to know? Alex. I'd like to know who handled the transaction and any additional details you can provide. It's important for me to understand the context of this purchase. The sales associate hesitated, then nodded and began typing into her computer. Sales associate. The purchase was made during a private consultation with one of our senior consultants. The necklace was a custom order, and it was paid for in full at the time of the consultation. Alex, can you tell me who the consultant was, and if there were any special notes or circumstances regarding this transaction? Sales associate. The consultant was Mr. Daniel Westbrook. Unfortunately, I don't have access to detailed notes from private consultations, but I can provide you with his contact information if you'd like. Alex took down the contact details, his mind racing with questions. He thanked the sales associate and left the store, his thoughts already turning to the next step: contacting Mr. Westbrook. T. Alex's living room. Day later that day, Alex sat with his phone in hand, preparing to call Daniel Westbrook. The details of Claire's transaction had only deepened the mystery. He needed to understand the context of the jewelry purchase and whether it had any connection to Claire's recent behavior. Alex, into phone. Hello, Mr. Westbrook. My name is Alex Harrison. I'm calling about a recent transaction involving a diamond necklace ordered by Claire Harrison. I'm trying to get some additional context about this purchase. Daniel Westbrook, VO. Oh yes, I remember the order. Claire was here for a private consultation. The necklace was a custom design, and she was very specific about what she wanted. Alex. Was there anything unusual about the consultation or the purchase? Any specific requests or concerns Claire mentioned? Daniel Westbrook, VO. Claire was very particular, but that's not unusual. She seemed quite excited about the piece. She didn't mention anything out of the ordinary. Alex thanked Mr. Westbrook and ended the call, his mind racing with possibilities. The information he had gathered painted a picture of Claire that was increasingly difficult to reconcile with the story she had told him. The timing of the purchase, her distress over the stolen purse, and the details from the jewelry store were beginning to form a troubling pattern. As Alex pondered his next steps, he knew he needed to dig deeper into Claire's recent activities. He considered hiring a private investigator to uncover more about her actions and associations. The journey to uncover the truth was becoming more complex, and Alex was prepared to face whatever revelations lay ahead, determined to unravel the full extent of the mystery surrounding Claire's recent behavior. Int. Alex's home office, night. The room was dimly lit by the glow of Alex's desk lamp, casting a warm but solitary light over his cluttered workspace. Piles of papers and notebooks lay scattered, reflecting the intensity of his recent research. Alex sat hunched over his computer, his fingers tapping rapidly as he compiled the information he'd gathered. His expression was one of focused determination, mingled with the strain of uncovering uncomfortable truths. After finishing his call with Daniel Westbrook, Alex decided to explore other avenues of Claire's recent activities. He began by reviewing her social media profiles, hoping to find clues that might explain the sudden and inexplicable behavior. He scrolled through Claire's posts and photos, searching for inconsistencies or anything that might indicate unusual activity. Most of her posts were mundane: vacation photos, social outings, and occasional updates about daily life. However, one post caught his eye: a seemingly innocuous picture of Claire at a cafe, taken a few days before the reported purse theft. In the background of the photo, a blurred figure seemed to linger near her table, obscured but strangely familiar. Alex zoomed in on the figure, squinting at the pixels in an attempt to discern more details. The figure was wearing a jacket and cap, their face hidden in the shadow. The image provided no clear answers, but only heightened his suspicion. He decided to dig deeper into Claire's recent interactions. Using the information he had, he reached out to a private investigator, someone he knew would handle the case discreetly. N.T. Private Investigator's Office. Day. The office was a modest, unassuming space, filled with file cabinets and stacks of case files. The walls were adorned with various documents and newspaper clippings. A private investigator, mid-40s, rugged with an air of quiet competence, looked up from his desk as Alex entered. Private investigator. Good morning. How can I help you today? Alex. Hello. I'm Alex Harrison. I need your help with a private matter involving my wife, Claire Harrison. I have reason to believe there's something more going on than what she's told me. The investigator nodded, indicating for Alex to sit. Private investigator. All right, Alex. Tell me what you've uncovered so far and what specific concerns you have. Alex proceeded to detail Claire's recent behavior, the suspicious transaction at the jewelry store, and his growing doubts. He handed over the documentation he had gathered, including the information about the jewelry purchase and the peculiar photo from Claire's social media. Private investigator, I see. Based on what you've provided, it seems there might be some inconsistencies. I'll start by following up on her recent activities, including her interactions and whereabouts. It may take some time, but I'll keep you updated with any significant findings. Alex. Thank you. I appreciate your discretion and thoroughness. With the investigator's assurance, Alex left the office feeling a mixture of relief and apprehension. The decision to involve a professional marked a critical step in uncovering the truth about Claire's actions. The investigation was now in motion, and Alex was prepared for the possibility that the revelations might be more unsettling than he had anticipated. Inti. Alex's living room. Night. As the days passed, Alex found himself consumed by a growing sense of unease. He continued to analyze the information he had, awaiting updates from the private investigator. The routine of daily life felt increasingly distant, overshadowed by the weight of his investigation. He began to notice subtle changes in Claire's behavior that had once seemed insignificant: her evasiveness about phone calls, her unexplained absences, and her growing irritability. One evening, as Alex was reviewing some new data on his laptop, a message popped up from the private investigator. The message was brief, but carried significant weight. "Meeting tomorrow to discuss findings. Call me when you're available." Alex's pulse quickened as he set up a meeting with the investigator for the following day. Inti. Private Investigator's Office. Next day. The private investigator's office was quiet as Alex arrived, the atmosphere charged with anticipation. The investigator greeted him with a nod and gestured for him to take a seat. Private Investigator. "I've completed the initial investigation into Claire's activities. Here's what I've found." He handed Alex a folder filled with documents and photographs. Alex's hands trembled slightly as he opened the folder and began to review the contents. The first few pages included surveillance photos of Claire meeting with various individuals, including one man who appeared frequently in different locations. Private Investigator. The man in these photos is someone Claire has been seeing regularly. His name is Mark Dawson, and he seems to have been involved in several of Claire's recent outings. Alex's heart sank as he absorbed the information. The evidence of Claire's involvement with Mark Dawson was clear and unsettling. The photos revealed intimate settings, dinners, walks in the park, and other private moments that suggested a close relationship. "Alex, I never imagined this. What should I do next?" Private Investigator. The next step is to confront Claire with the evidence. However, it's crucial to be prepared for her reaction and the impact this may have on your relationship. If you decide to proceed with legal actions, such as divorce, the evidence will be critical. Alex nodded, his mind racing with the implications of what he had learned. The confrontation with Claire would be a turning point, one that would force him to face the full extent of her betrayal. As he left the office, he felt a profound sense of foreboding, knowing that the path ahead would be fraught with emotional turmoil and difficult decisions. Inti. Alex's living room. Evening. The evening was unusually quiet, the only sound being the occasional rustle of papers and the hum of the city outside. Alex sat on the edge of his couch, the folder from the private investigator open on the coffee table before him. His mind was a storm of thoughts, each wave crashing harder as he prepared for the inevitable confrontation with Claire. The door to the apartment creaked open, and Claire's voice drifted in from the hallway, cheerfully announcing her arrival. Alex's heart raced as he stood up, the folder clutched tightly in his hand. He could hear Claire's footsteps approach, the sound of her keys being placed on the table, and then, finally, her voice calling out, "Alex, I'm home!" Claire, entering the room. "Hey, how was your day?" Alex turned to face her, forcing a calm expression onto his face despite the turmoil inside. Claire looked radiant, as usual, her demeanor bright and untroubled. The contrast between her cheerful exterior and the evidence in front of him was jarring. "Alex," softly. "Claire, we need to talk." Claire's smile faltered slightly, and she took a seat on the couch, her curiosity piqued. "What's wrong?" Alex sat down opposite her, placing the folder between them. He took a deep breath, trying to steady his voice. I've been doing some investigating about the purse you reported stolen and your recent activities. I found something that I need you to explain. Claire's eyes widened as Alex slowly opened the folder, revealing the photographs and documents. The room seemed to shrink as Alex laid out the evidence of her relationship with Mark Dawson and the suspicious timing of the jewelry purchase. Claire's face paled as she took in the evidence before her, her composure cracking. Claire, voice trembling. Alex, I didn't mean for you to find out this way. Alex, firmly. How could you think I wouldn't find out? This isn't just about the purse. It's about trust, about everything we've built together. What's going on, Claire? Claire struggled to find the right words, her eyes darting nervously around the room. It's not what it looks like. I made mistakes, but I never meant to hurt you. Mark and I, it's complicated. I was trying to figure things out, and I made a mess of everything. Alex's frustration was palpable. You lied to me, Claire. You deceived me about something so important. How could I trust you again after this? Claire's tears began to flow freely, her face etched with remorse. I'm so sorry, Alex. I didn't know how to tell you. I thought I could fix things before it got this bad. Alex sighs. Claire, this isn't just about what happened recently. It's about everything that's led up to this. The trust between us has been broken, and I don't know if we can rebuild it. The emotional weight of Alex's words hung heavily in the air. Claire nodded, her sobs muffled as she struggled to compose herself. I understand. I'll do whatever it takes to make this right, but I realize now that I've done too much damage. Int family lawyer's office. Weeks later. The lawyer's office was formal and quiet, filled with the muted hum of legal proceedings. Alex and Claire sat across from each other, their expressions somber as they discussed the terms of their separation. The lawyer, an experienced woman in her late 50s, reviewed the documents with a professional detachment. Lawyer. The division of assets and other legal matters will be addressed as per the agreed terms. It's important to ensure that both parties have a clear understanding and acceptance of the arrangements. Alex glanced at Claire, who looked worn and defeated. The emotional strain of the past weeks had taken its toll, and the reality of their impending divorce was setting in. Alex, speaking softly. I hope you find a way to move forward and find peace, Claire. This has been a difficult journey for both of us. Claire, tearfully. I wish things had been different. I'm sorry for everything, Alex. As the legal proceedings concluded, Alex felt a heavy sense of finality. The once promising future he had envisioned with Claire had unraveled, leaving him to grapple with the emotional fallout and the challenge of starting anew. Int. Alex's apartment. Months later. Alex's apartment was slowly transforming into a space that reflected his new beginning. Boxes were packed, and fresh decor hinted at a new chapter. Alex stood by the window, looking out over the city, a sense of cautious optimism in his eyes. The pain of the past was still present, but it was now mingled with a renewed sense of hope and determination. As he finished arranging a few final items, his phone buzzed with a message. It was from a friend, inviting him to a gathering. Alex smiled, feeling a spark of anticipation for the future. Alex, to himself. It's time to move forward. With a deep breath, Alex turned away from the window, ready to embrace the next chapter of his life, with the lessons of the past guiding him toward a new beginning.